Hello and welcome to our learning to cook pizza journey, and today I'm going to be going through all of the tools I use to make pizza dough. Let's do it. I've laid them all out here, everything I've got, and I'm going to go through each one to show what I do with them, why I use them. So if you're new to making pizza dough, you might find this useful. I only use a few key items to make pizza dough, so let's go through them. I use a 3.25 litre Systema container for holding my flour because I have a really big bag, a 25 kilogram bag of flour, which I keep in a cold storage area, and so I store 1 kilogram in the kitchen so I can quickly access it to make my dough. So I store it all in here. It comes with a cup. It's so handy for retrieving the flour from the big bag and also getting the flour out from this storage container. So you've got a handle here, you just hold it like that, it's easy to carry. It's also got airtight clips, and I'm really glad I bought it. I haven't found anything as good and as practical as this. Start off my pizza dough with that, and then I move on to the equipment I use to make my dough. So I use a bread maker to make the dough, and I use it every time. I always have used a bread maker. I used to use a kitchen mixer, but I just thought the dough didn't come out well. It just kept going up the spiral hook and it just wasn't kneading. The bread maker gives a fantastic knead. That's what it's designed to do, is knead dough. So I find it's the best thing I've got to knead pizza dough. I weigh my ingredients with the Ooni scales. It's got two scales, one for the flour that I use on this side, and this one I use for the yeast. And so that's got that extra smaller level of weight there. So I use that one for the yeast and that one for the flour. I get my smaller amounts measured accurately with the Ooni scales. I've also got a measuring cup that comes with the bread maker. I measure all of my ingredients for the dough in that. So once I've made my dough, I have to proof it. So I proof it normally in this very big plastic bowl that doesn't have a lid, unfortunately, but I use cling film on the top to make it airtight. So that's my proofing bowl, or I use the square one you sometimes see on my videos. Either that one or this one, depends what I've got around. But I can also use a baker's tray. I don't use it very often because I don't have room for it in my fridge. This is what I use to proof the dough balls. It's like a perfect depth for them, and I've got a lid as well. I've also got this very small little tab, and I love this because you can just put one dough ball in there, the lid goes on, and then you can keep that, just one ball, in the fridge if you don't have room, which is mostly the case with me. And also it's handy for when I've got a dough ball ready and I just don't want any air going on it. And so instead of using a tea towel, I prefer to put a plastic container over it. They do break very easily, but they are very cheap and you can reuse them. So once I've made my dough, I've proofed my dough in my bowl and my baker's tray, I then have to stretch it. I've got a kitchen countertop that's granite, so I use that to stretch on, and I find it's nice and cold, and I just put my flour on it and it works really well. But then once I've finished stretching, I then place my pizza on my pizza peel. This is the large one. I add my semolina onto it. This is my pot of semolina, and I use that to go underneath every single pizza I make before I put the pizza onto my peel. also dip my flour into, I've got a little bowl here, it's an old pudding basin. I dip my flour in there. I think it's a really nice size for dipping dough balls in. That's where I keep all my flour for dipping and for preparing the pizza. If you really need to use one, which I do when I make bigger pizza because my stretching isn't great with bigger pizza, I get out my little rolling pin, which I love. And I will use that to make my bigger, up to 15-inch pizza, which I have trouble making, so I use that. And I love that tool, it's amazing. Even if you don't need one, I always think it's handy to have one when your dough goes wrong. It kind of saves the day and saves your dough. I've also got a dough blade, so when you are moving your dough around or cutting up your dough from the baker's tray, you can use your dough blade to cut the dough without getting your hands on it, get all sticky, so that's handy. It's very sharp on the end, handy tool to have. So looking at all my tools, I don't have that many things, but I use them every time I make pizza dough. I will use these exact items. Like my pizza tools, they last a long time. I don't want too much equipment hanging around in my kitchen. I don't have the room to store it, so I just want my basic essentials. These are my basic essentials for making pizza, but these are all the things I need. Couldn't do without, because every part has a purpose: measuring, weighing, proofing, cutting, stretching, rolling, laying out the pizza, getting the dough ready, stopping it sticking, and my flour. Everything is here. So I hope you found this video useful. I certainly have, because putting it all together like this makes me think, oh, I don't have that much stuff. I always think I've got too much, but I have kept it to a minimum. I haven't just gone out and bought lots of gadgets. This is all I've got, and this is all I want and need, and the bread maker, and that's it. So I hope you found this video useful. If you're starting off making pizza dough, you don't have to get loads of things to get you going, but you do need a few basic items. Hope you're okay. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye. And don't forget to check out our website, gottoeatpizza.com. Link is below.